In the city's neon-drenched nights, a man named Leo reigned supreme. By night, he was a feared gangster, a shadow moving through the criminal underworld with cold precision. His world was one of power, danger, and secrets. A life built on a foundation of fear and respect earned through ruthless actions. But when the sun rose, a different Leo emerged. By day, he was a gentle lover, a man who yearned for a peace he could never seem to grasp. This was his double life, a precarious balance between darkness and a desperate search for light. Leo's days were spent with Anya, a girl from a small rural town whose spirit was as bright as the open fields she grew up in. She saw a kindness in him that no one else did, a tenderness hidden beneath his hardened exterior. To her, he wasn't a gangster. He was just Leo, the man who brought her wildflowers and listened to her dreams with a quiet intensity. Anya's world was simple, filled with the scent of rain on soil and the warmth of genuine connection. She knew nothing of his nocturnal life, and he intended to keep it that way. He cherished their moments together, finding in her innocence a refuge from the violence that defined his nights. Her laughter was his sanctuary, her touch a reminder of a life he wished he could lead. But secrets, in a city like this, have a way of crawling out from the shadows. Leo's two worlds were on a collision course, and he knew it. His rivals were closing in, whispers of his vulnerabilities, love for Anya spreading like wildfire through the underworld. Every car that backfired on the street made his heart pound. Every strange face in a crowd felt like a threat. He started seeing shadows where there were none, the paranoia of his gangster life seeping into his precious daylight hours with Anya. The fear of losing her was a constant, suffocating weight, far heavier than any threat he'd faced on the streets. He was living on borrowed time, and the clock was ticking faster every day. One evening, as Leo prepared to leave for his night job, Anya noticed the haunted look in his eyes, the tension in his shoulders that never truly left. She gently took his hand, her touch grounding him. "Leo," she said softly, "you seem so far away sometimes. Whatever it is, you can tell me. We're a team, remember?" Her simple, unwavering trust was a dagger to his heart. How could he tell her the truth? How could he confess that the man she loved was a monster in the dark? He wanted to protect her, but he was the very danger he wanted to shield her from. That night, the choice became agonizingly clear. He had to choose between the power he commanded and the love that was redeeming him. The breaking point came when a rival gang, seeking to dethrone Leo, saw Anya as his ultimate weakness. They decided to send him a message, not by attacking him directly, but by threatening the one pure thing in his life. One afternoon, while Leo was miles away handling a business matter, Anya was cornered in a quiet alley near her apartment. The men weren't there to harm her. Not yet. They were there to deliver a chilling warning, a photograph of her and Leo, with a sinister message scrawled on the back. When Leo found a terrified Anya, clutching the photo, his world shattered. The wall he had so carefully built between his two lives crumbled into dust. The fear in her eyes was a reflection of the monster he had become. Seeing Anya's terror, Leo finally confessed everything. He told her about the nights, the violence, the empire built on fear. He expected her to run, to scream, to look at him with the disgust he felt for himself. But Anya didn't. She listened, her expression shifting from fear to a profound sadness. When he finished, his voice raw with shame, she simply wrapped her arms around him. "That's not who you are, Leo," she whispered. "That's what you do. It doesn't have to be your future." In that moment, her forgiveness was more powerful than any weapon he had ever wielded. It wasn't absolution, but it was a beginning. It was a chance. Her words ignited a resolve in Leo he didn't know he possessed. He realized he couldn't just walk away. The underworld doesn't allow for quiet retirements. To protect Anya, and to truly leave his past behind, he had to dismantle the very empire he had built. It was a gamble that could cost him his life, but for the first time, he had something worth dying for: his future with her. He began to systematically sever his ties, using his knowledge of the criminal network not to expand his power, but to tear it down from the inside. He made deals with old enemies, leaked information to the right people, and set his rivals against each other, orchestrating a controlled implosion of his own world. The final confrontation was inevitable. The last of his major rivals, furious at his betrayal, set a trap. But Leo was no longer the gangster driven by ego and greed. He was a man fighting for love. He anticipated their moves, not with brute force, but with a cunning strategy born from a desire for peace. The final showdown wasn't a blaze of glory and a hail of bullets, but a quiet, calculated checkmate. He exposed their operations to the authorities, leaving them with no choice but to fall, while he vanished before the dust settled. He walked away from the wreckage of his former life, not as a king, but as a free man. Leo and Anya left the city without looking back. They found a small house in a town that reminded Anya of home, a place where the nights were filled with the sound of crickets, not sirens. The scars of his past remained, but they were no longer open wounds. He traded his gun for gardening tools, his nights of crime for quiet evenings, with the woman who saved him. He learned to live in the daylight, fully and completely. The gangster was gone, replaced by a man who found his true strength, not in fear, but in love. Their story became a quiet legend, a testament to the idea that no one is beyond redemption, and that sometimes the greatest revolutions happen not on the streets, but within the human heart.